Hello, everyone, and welcome to Era Military Collectibles. How are you all on this Friday evening? I need to get a team tune together or something waiting just when we go live. We'll see what happens. So, how have you all been? I hope you've had a fantastic week. Steel Helmet Stan waiting. Well, I'm here, Stan. How are you? I hope you've had a fantastic week. I'm going to whinge and bitch about the postal service tonight because I'm I have stuff lost in transit from SOF, and I have stuff going the other way. I had a Christmas box going to Danny Reese. That's gone missing. I must look for the tracking numbers now this evening for it. And I have some stuff on the way to some of the guys from Living History UK. Just some Christmas presents and bits and bobs. But yeah, they don't seem to have arrived. So I'm getting mad. I don't know whether it's because of the postal strikes in England or whether they got delayed or what the hell is going on. I don't know. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll end up getting back here and I can repost them. It's just been a pain. I'm tanked up on strong booze and I'm in the man cave. I hope you have a heater on, Stan, or you're going to freeze. Just keep drinking everything. Evening, John. Hello. How are you? Um, how are you keeping? Gary Hall, how are you doing? Gary, I will give you a message tomorrow or the next day in relation to that business that we've been talking about. So stay tuned. I will be going to England at the end of the month to Stoneleigh Military Fair. So I'll be doing a video on that fee. It's my first big festival, or big, I don't know what's a festival, my first big military auction in the UK, or big military fair in the UK. So yeah, so hopefully it'll be fine. Evening, Gary, mate. And yes, the heating is on full. Very good. I have my little heater on here as well, actually. Because this room, for some reason, it is insulated and everything, but it's just it can be quite cold in here. I don't know. Same, yeah, I'll panic. So yeah, so there we go, guys. What have I been doing in relation to the collection? Well, this jacket, which Jim Timber, nearly used his real name there for a second. Jim Timber sent me. Um, so I've been doing research on it. I did do a video on it, but I'm not very happy with it. So I've been trying to do some research and stuff on it and redoing it. And speaking of Jim, actually, I was chatting to him during the week, talking in relation to this. And I think I brought it up on last week's live stream as well. I just happened to mention to him that I don't have much European special forces stuff, and could he keep an eye out for Polish stuff for me? Because if any of you don't know who Jim Timber is, go check out Jim Timber on YouTube. He has his own little channel. He's a military collector as well. Literally, he said, I'll keep an eye out for you. There's no problem. The next day, he rings me and he sort of says, John, I'm after getting you a Parabrea to Lieutenant Colonel. They're classified as special forces here in Poland. Would you like it? And I was like, going, yeah, mate, how much do you owe? And he's like, no, fine. It's trade. So it's perfect. So yeah, so I'm waiting for that to come now. Hi everyone. Got an East German M60 helmet this week for £40. Not many around apparently. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I actually have a helmet stand here that is going over to in your box. I'm not going to tell you which one, but it's a surprise. Hello, Kenny. How are you? Hey, Stan. Steel Helmet Man. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. I haven't been literally doing much collection and stuff like that. And organizing. We're in the quiet period, guys. Let's face it. It's January. Christmas is just over. Guys are paying bills. Car insurance. I know my car insurance is due this month. My tax is due this month for my vehicle. So yeah, so it's quiet month when it comes to collection. So I use these quiet months to just clean, tidy, organize, swap stuff around if I don't have it. So I know that people have made a comment that this jacket and the 68 pattern jacket have been sitting on my two half mannequins for a long time, because normally I change them up every now and again. And the reason that as I said, the reason I'm changing, or I haven't changed them up, is this one is going in a video that will be up this weekend. And I'm prepping that 68 pattern stuff for the Living History UK Festival. And speaking of the devil, he's in. Jim Timber, hello, how are you, mate? How are you keeping? John, do you want a set of 58 pattern? I have got a spare set doing nothing. Yeah, if you want, Stan, I'd more than happily take a 58 pattern set off you, because I have some plans for stuff. And I as I said, I'll swap you them hats and stuff. Better you put your tin hats on. Timber is here. Do I have a tin hat handy? I don't. I do, actually. Oh. Now, this, guys, and if you know what this is, let's turn sideways. We'll wait for the questions to come in on the quiz. Show you the inside of it. Now, this is meant to be a 57. I doubt it, right? Because it barely fits on my head, and I'm a 57. So, Stan, this isn't going to fit you one bit, right? But anyone have any ideas what this is before I give it away? Would you like to see the detail on the side of it? Because that's what. It's Finnish. It is Finnish. It's the Finnish contract that were made by the. Is it the M50 they call them, or the M55s or something they call them? I need to do a bit of research on it. I don't think I have a video done on this. I need to do a video on this actually. There were Finnish helmets that were made for Finland after the Second World War and during the Second World War, but they were made on the original machines and same presses. So if you want an original shell from the time period, you get one of the ones from the Winter War, which this is just slightly later than it. This is it is Finnish. It's been reconditioned and redone, but it is a World War II shell, but it's an actual Finnish helmet. So what an awful lot of guys do, it's a cheap and effective way for reenacting, to have an original shell, but then they redo the liners and stuff like that and do them up the way they want them. You could buy these from a company in America, and they do advertise them on eBay, but the problem is they don't ship international for some reason. I don't know. So if you know people there, and they're gone up in price, they're nearly about €200 now, compared to what they used to be for 50 or 60 euros. It's not one that the poncho roll. Sorry, it's not one with the poncho roll. It's just a back set. I'll sort of. Oh, there's no panic, Stan. There's no panic. If you want. Too small for Stan. Is it Finnish? It is Finnish. Got a set of Greek battle dress. Thanks, lads. The Greek, yeah. Are you going to convert it into the British set? I'm on the lookout for 58 compass pouch and holster. I don't have a 58 one actually, to tell you the truth. Andrew, hello. How are you, Mr. Johnson? It's been refinished. It has been refinished. Hello, Andrew. Parcel coming your way next week, and I will say it's World War One. Oh, very interesting. Andrew, you have to do a video on it. I love seeing unboxing videos for some reason. But is the Finnish helmet really from World War II? Yes, it is. It is. The Germans sent them the presses, and the material and the knowledge how to do it, and these were used up until the 50s in the Finnish army. So yeah, so it's the nearest thing you're going to get without spending a lot of money on a German shell. These are original shells, yes. Are they wartime? I don't know because there's no actual date. They never dated them or anything like that. How you can tell this one is by the liner. It's got the early type liner in it. Finnish liner, not the German liner. But there are ways of telling. There are ways of doing it. Now, apparently, the way you know the chin strap on these are Finnish. Now, apparently, this is. It's not reindeer. Is it reindeer? I think it's actually reindeer leather compared to cattle leather, and it's if you look at the actual raw edge of it, it's actually bluey rather than a normal. See the raw edge of it there. It's actually a bluey color rather than a regular leather. So that's how you can tell Finnish chin straps as well. But yeah, there you go. Nice one, Stan. Thanks, Jude. In France have those Finnish helmets, I think. Send me on the link for that, Jude, if you can, please, because I know one or two guys that have been looking for them and I can't get them. Ralph, it will be 100%. Yeah, perfect. Nice steel helmet. Steelhelm. Very good. Reference to Greek battle dress. I'm using it to do the Irish Canadian regiment in the Sudbury. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Like there's Irish regiments scattered all over the place. And they need to. The Canadians, I do had a massive Irish one. The Australians, believe it or not, had Irish as well. The BGS helmet also resembles a German World War II steel helmet. BGS. I'm not sure what the initials BGS is. Blumsfield Auctions in Belfast is having a police military auction on Tuesday 21st. Appears to be a lot of Irish. I must have a look at their link. I did buy a riot shield that Gabriel, a buddy of mine, still has up there. I need to get that off him. One of the plastic ones. I think I bought it for like £50 at the time. But yeah, I must have a look at their auction site. I think the Hungarians made helmets for the Finns. They have a bracket on the back, and the US Air Force bombed one of the factories flat in World War II. I have one, so I know it's genuine as it was made at the plant. Yeah, they do actually. What he's talking about, guys, there, if any of you don't know, the Germans like that as well. To their allies, gave them the equipment and gave them how to make the helmet. But the Finnish or the Hungarian one has a little not triangular square piece just here at the back, and it's actually for a belt that they can tie it to their equipment. It's just a little square piece. It's like a little bracket. It fits right on the back of the helmet. I know guys as well that for I don't know why, but to do things with German helmets, have angle grinded them off and resprayed them to use them for reenacting and stuff like that. I remember your review of the lid stand. Yeah, I do actually remember it as well. I think Military Collectibles did one as well, if I remember. But there were minus the vent holes, though, I think. The Hungarian one, I'm not sure. BGS German Customs. Okay. Understand now. Canadian battle dress was more green than khaki, brown like the British. World War II, yes. Canada, no. I think they got when they were in Canada or in Korea. I think they were pretty much similar. And like at that, the initial guys that went over to Korea from the colonies, shall we say, and Britain, were actually kitted up by the Americans. They wore American 43 pattern camouflage or not camouflage, but battle dress and things like that. Steel Hammerstein, yes, indeed, you could see them in Stalingrad 2003 movie. I didn't know they used them in Stalingrad movie. The Swiss used to hang the helmets off their jackets. They did. The Irish used to hang them off their webbing. by the chin straps. We used to hang them off for webbing. Hi Ralph, I look at that again. Yeah, I must look at it myself as well. Hi John, did you just say that Finnish steel helmets contain cat leather? No, not cat leather. It's I can't remember. Is it? There's two different types of leather, and I remember one of them is reindeer leather. No, I'm not sure. Is it the chin strap or the actual liner? But one of them is reindeer leather. But the chin straps, how you can tell the chin straps, if you look at the raw edge of the chin strap, it's actually a bluey color rather than a bluey gray, rather than your regular leather chin straps, which are brown. So yeah, so there you go. So that's why I'm thinking it's more the chin strap that is the reindeer leather than the liner. No, not cat leather. I'll cover my cat's ears. Reindeer leather or elk. I think you might actually be right. It's one or the other. There's two different types of leather in it. One could be elk and one could be reindeer, but I definitely know one of them is reindeer leather because the Finns use a lot of reindeer meat and use the reindeers a lot, like we use cattle. So yeah, so there you go. They're a big animal actually. Have any of you ever seen a proper reindeer? I've seen one in the zoo one time. They're huge. And as you can tell, I'm actually drinking out of what is this? 1952 enamel British Army issue mug. There you go. It's very hard to find the brown ones. Andrew Johnson kindly sent me this one. It's very hard to find the brown enamel ones in good enough to use, especially World War II ones. You can find the white ones everywhere. You can buy the white ones, but the brown ones are very hard to get. There are some reproduction companies that do them, but they're absolutely crap. I have one here. It has ended up with all my bits and bobs in it. But I made a brew in this one. And the enamel, I don't know if you can see the top corner here. That's actually rust. Because the enamel literally bubbled straight off it. I'm not going to say what company it was because it's not worth it. But yeah, there you go. A classic mug. It is a classic mug. It's a very good mug. I really like it. I don't know. I've gotten into drinking over. Like I have two. I have that one and I have a white one, and you drink tea out of both of them. Reindeer is good eating too. I've never eaten reindeer actually. I must try one of those. A classic mug. It is a classic mug. Why did the Finns ever put a skeleton with a skull on their helmets? It wasn't the Finnish that started doing it. It was actually the Germans and the Austrians. More so the Austrians, believe it or not, during the First World War when they came up with stormtroopers. It was a badge that they wore. There are some units that still use the skull as their insignia. Poppy, which is their military police type organization in Brazil. Their actual emblem is a skull as well. So there are organizations still to this day that use the skull as their symbol. I don't remember the Finns using it. I definitely remember the Germans and the Austrians using it in the First World War, later in the Second World War. But if you want to know of any group that still uses it to this day, it's BOPI. They're a Polish. They're a Brazilian military police force. So yeah, was it Chris Ryan or Vinnie Jones that did a documentary on BOPI? So I think it's on YouTube. Go look it up. BOPI, toughest police force in the world or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. I have a heap of those brown ones. I got off Lawrence. Oh, have you? If you do, Jude, I'd be happy to get one or two of them off you. It's good to have spares. I've also got a green enamel one too. Oh, green. Where were the green enamel ones from? I can't remember the green enamel ones. Maybe they put. No, maybe they were part of the SS Viking. They possibly were. I don't know. Estonian used the skull. Yeah, lots of. It was the funny people with the strange lines. ZZs. They were the one. You can't even say ZZs now because of friggin' Russia and Ukraine. But they that was their main emblem. Um, the swastika was Indian. Yes, it was Indian, and it was actually a sign of good luck or wealth and stuff like that. And he changed it and turned it out. Myself and Stan actually found out a very, very interesting thing one time. Can't remember what Stan was doing, but he was doing research on something, and he found out that in Dublin there was actually a laundry called Swastika Laundries, and on their vans they had a swastika on the side of them. And the reason that I remember now what it was he sent me a picture of the War of Independence with some black and tans and British soldiers on a Crossley tender, and on the bottom of the Crossley tender there was a swastika. So we were wondering, John, where the hell they got it? Because obviously Second World War hadn't kicked off at that stage, and but where did they come up with this? Um, the swastika laundries in Dublin had been founded in 18 odd, and the only thing that we can think of was it was one of these laundry trucks that they had kind of commandeered and used it as their own. So that's why the Americans were still on the side of it. ZZ Top had skulls on their rings. They did actually. There's a guy in the States and there's an Australian guy. They deal with an awful lot of top end German stuff. And he does an awful lot of fakes and stuff like that. The Australian guy actually goes to these big shows where he gets video footage of the big shows, and as people are going around stands and stuff like that and looking at them, he's actually picking out, going, that's original, that's fake, that's original, that's fake, or whatever. So it's very interesting. I can't remember his name actually, to tell you the truth, but I do remember watching some of his videos. The Double Zulu, yeah, Double Zulu. Top bread. SS Top bread. Don't know. Jim Timber too. Yeah, I remember that. Bloody weird. It was actually. It was weird. I can't. Like, it was just one of those weird things when you see like historical photo from an earlier time period, and you go, "What? Why is that on the side of that truck?" It's interesting. It's weird. Military review is the chant. That's the one. Thank you, Stan. That's the lad. That's the yeah. The Australian guy's videos are really good. He knows his stuff. He does, yeah. He does know his stuff. He was on World War II TV, if I remember correctly. Another great channel, guys. If any of you want to learn more about individual subjects in the Second World War, that's a great one. World War II TV, it's called. He did a podcaster. Oh, he did a video with him, and the man is a fountain of knowledge. Like in relation to this collection, or the collecting world, the reenacting world, the living historian world, whatever world you're part of, like it's gotten to the stage now. I don't care what you identify. If you're over 18, you can identify as a toaster. It doesn't bother me. So if you're a reenactor, collector, living historian, that's fine. They're all under the one umbrella, and there's a room for everyone. But in this hobby and all those hobbies, you never, ever know everything. You'll always be learning. You always find out something new. You always need to be doing research. Um, you always need to be going to fairs and talking to guys that are in the industry because one, price of stuff changes. Two, unscrupulous buggers are always around the place trying to make reproductions or whatever. I am actually surprised because of Rogue Heroes that eBay isn't swamped with reproduction SAS stuff, because it happened with Band of Brothers, it happened with the Pacific. Band of Brothers, everybody from their cat to their dog to their mother and their uncle were going around as Easy Company, 101st Airborne, at military fairs, at festivals, at everything like that. Pacific went mental into the Marines in the Pacific. So I'm waiting for the penny to drop that everyone's going to be going around now doing North African SAS. Um, that's why the Europe stuff hasn't been touched on yet. So that's why we sort of do Europe, because nobody really knows about it. Everyone knows about North Africa stuff. Um, and there is Spielberg and Tom Hanks are. I think it's actually been edited, and I think it's due out this year. Um, they're doing one, the Mighty Eight. It's called. It's about the Eighth Air Force. So you'll have the Pacific, Band of Brothers. This one now about the Air Force, and Tom Hanks made a great movie called Greyhound, which is about the North Atlantic convoys. Great movie as well. Now you could only get it on iPlayer. YouTube, but you could only get it on iPlayer and stuff like that. So you'd have to rummage around to try and find it. But it's called Greyhound. Tom Hanks is actually, I think he wrote it, directed it, and starred in it. Fantastic film. Go check it out. The Australian guy really knows his stuff. Ralph, I reckon they hated the Russians so much that they would side with the devil to keep away. That's why an awful lot of Finnish and Norwegian guys ended up in the SS or in the German army, was because they were afraid of Bolshevism and communism, and they were more worried about the Russians than the Germans. So yeah, so it did happen. Belgians as well. The Belgians had their own SS division. Don't think the French did. Not sure, or their own SS regiment. Educated me on the SS toilet roll. Yeah, like why would you reproduce toilet roll? I've no idea. Or make copies or fakes of toilet roll. Obviously, I can say I can see why it can be done as a naff thing for a reenactment or for whatever, a bachelor, single bachelor, or a guy that's collecting or whatever, just as a funny joke. Yeah, I've got World War II uh, um, toilet paper in my bathroom. But yeah, strange one. Silhamestan, indeed. Education is the end result that ever. Education is the end result of whatever we call ourselves. Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's all about education. If anyone speaks Danish, this is the best DDR collection I have ever seen. Oh, okay. Jim, you'll have to send me that link on the old phone or something, because once this thing is gone, I won't be able to get that link back. Yes, I agree, John. When the controversy of World War One happened, medals went right up in price. Oh, sorry, when the centenary of World War One happened, the medals went up in price. Another one of the video games, Battlefield 1914. Yeah, 1917 as well was another film. It came out about the First World War that brought up. No, look, don't get me wrong. These movies are great and these series are great because it builds people's interest and it tweaks people's interest and stuff like that. But like that, scrupulous buggers are around there to try and make money off it, and they'll drive the price up on everything. Like I have had since Danny sent me that medal, I've been trying to acquire more medals, and I have put bids on medals on eBay and things like that. There are other auction sites available. Just don't go to that one. And I've been outbidded every single time, and I am going to the price that's been recommended to me by other friends, and I'm still being outbidded. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether I'm just being sniped or what's the story. But I've lost out now on 2 or 3 sets lately. So yeah, there we go. Um, Polish type of toilet paper is double sided. We used to have a joke in the Irish Army's toilet paper. We used to make it literally a square that size. That was it. And the boys had poked a hole in the middle of them, and like they'd ask why, what was the hole for, and you say, well, you use your finger to wipe your bum, and then you use the toilet paper to wipe your finger. So yeah, so there we go. Uh, all right, mate. Pope. Yeah, LD. I hope you're keeping well as well. I hope everything is good. Yes, the French did. I'm reading about them now. The Charlie Mange division. Charlie Mange division. Okay, must actually. I still haven't finished that book you gave me, Stan, about the death squads in. Um, it's very very hard read. Interesting read, but still a very hard read. Um, have you seen the Netflix Munich post the war with the 1917 actor? I haven't actually. Let's have a look at that one. Let's give that one a look. I would say finish wasn't access. I must look. I must give that a look. Actually, no, I haven't seen that one. To tell you the truth. Yeah. Sorry, my phone has been beeping here for the last few seconds. So I'm just making sure that nothing important has coming through. Oh, nothing important anyway. LD, I think so. Yes, Axis, Motherhead. Also collected Finnish World War II medals. By your vision, when Yugoslavia and Iceland were Axis at one point. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much where I've been with collecting. I have a little list wrote out of stuff that I would like to get at Stoneleigh. Obviously, if I could come across a nice cheap set of Irish First World War medals, I would like them. Now, I think I might possibly come across a set over there, and they might be a bit cheaper, but like Irish man in an Irish regiment. From what I've found out, and from what I'm reading, and from what people are telling me, an Irishman in an Irish regiment holds a certain premium. For some reason, they're very collectible, or people collect them. But if you find an Irishman in it, if he's in a different division or a different regiment or whatever, they're not as expensive. So what I'm planning on doing is try to get as many of these Irish guys' medals together as I possibly can, and then I'll start concentrating on getting regiments, Irish guys from Irish regiments. So yeah. Um, I'm trying to see if I can find myself some 58 pattern SAS stuff. Um, that's another thing on my shopping list. I don't have an SLR bayonet, believe it or not. I probably could get one there, but the problem is getting it back. Um, so I'm not sure that could be done on my list. And just basically, they're the two main things, three main things. If I see any or World War II stuff that I find interesting as well, maybe they're about the three things. I not like people where my collection is. I do collect First World War. I don't have as much as I would like, but I have some First World War stuffs. World War II stuff. I have a nice bit lately collected now of World War II stuff. Op Banner is my massive one. Op Banner will be my massive one. A side effect of doing Op Banner is I can do Falkland stuff as well, so I have a small bit of Falkland stuff. An Australian Army involvement in Vietnam. So I don't expect. I presume that I'll find stuff from the First World War, Second World War, Op Banner, and Falklands. Being a British show, I don't expect to find anything from the Australian involvement in Vietnam. Who knows? I might not, but we'll wait and see. But Bulgaria is one as well. Don't get into Russia with the Germans, but helped them put down partisans and occupied territories in Greece and committed atrocities there. Check out History Hustle on YouTube. Oh, another. I love finding all these different channels. Channels I don't think I've ever heard of. History Hustle. I must look up that one as well. Bulgaria actually signed the Axis peace of paper, though. It's a mad one. Oh, okay. LD German helmets Stug Handfest Nazi caliber I call its Axis. Was finished. Okay. I've got a bit of Bulgarian stuff, helmets, etc. World War II state, not published under. Hold that thought, Sten. Hold that thought. My another World War II helmet that I have. This one actually does fit me, so I could wear this one for a minute. Greetings again from Texas. Hope you've all been doing. Yes, Robert, we have been doing well. We're literally just talking about everything and anything really tonight, and discussing what's going on in the chat's comments. That nice kit stand, keep it a while. If you have things like pouches, they go for silly money. Okay. Irish Guards, have you ever seen the 1972 British War movie Up the Front? Up the Front? Very good World War One comedy. Don't think I have, Ralph. LD. Yeah, did the Germans did supply those with weapons, etc. Then they turned on the Germans and joined the Soviets and painted red stars on their helmets and equipment. What do you know on what? Do you know an Irish Bulgarian? Yes, I do. He's sitting right here. I did do a video on this helmet actually, I think. It is a Bulgarian M36C World War II post World War II liner, courtesy of Stan. Stan kindly gifted me this. So yeah, there you go. So my World War II helmets are: I have this, which is Bulgarian. I have this, which is Finnish / German. Oh. These are all original World War II helmets now. I have this, which is my British original World War II helmet. This one is. I need a torch to find the date of this one. That is quite dark. Like my sense of humour, it's very dark. Very dark sense of humour. Where is it? After all that now, and I can't find the date. But the one interesting thing about this helmet though is, if you look on the very, very inside of it, there's two initials. There's a J there, and there's an R there. So obviously that's his second name. This is 1943, but it is not a frontline combat helmet. You can tell that by those three little holes there. That was the proof mark of the steel. So this was probably used in the civil defence role, possibly used in anti-aircraft role in England, things like that. So those three. So they would have had. You would have had, I think, two. I think it started at two. You started with none, then you started with two. You started with three, and then four. Four was the lowest quality. That was normally given to like factory workers and things like that. Then, as you moved up along, the guys with no marks on them obviously went to the guys in the front. So that's my British Tommy helmet. I was going to restore this, but guys said not against it. I got two of these actually one time from my friend Padraig. The other one I restored to the First World War condition, because when we did a bit of research on it, we found out it was actually First World War shell, and so that's been redone I do actually have the video of it. I need to put up that video. So yeah, so that's that. Then this is my original American M1 helmet. Everything in this has been completely original. Now the liner has been redone, but the shell, the helmet, the shell, the actual, believe it or not, the net as well is original. And the reason you can tell the net is original, see there's all little individual knots. So yeah, this is my original M1 helmet, American. So that's three main forces: the Germans, the Americans, the British, and then you go side. You go to things like this, which is my M1 Pacific. Now the liner is not original, the shell is original. That chin strap, believe it or not, or that leather strap for the liner is original. It's got the later pattern chin straps. This is the M44 chin strap. They came in 44. Before that, the chin strap was actually directly stitched. You can see it there. The chin strap was actually directly stitched to the bail. And then just to make them recondition them, make it easier, they came up with this idea that they could just clip them on. So this came out in 44. So yeah, so this is my Vietnam, or sorry, not Vietnam, my Pacific tier helmet. So they're all originals. The slight changes in one of them. The American is probably the most. Actually, they're all original. They just have little different things wrong with them. This is probably this. I need to get a liner for this. If I come across an original liner, actually, it's only I might bring it back with me. But yeah, so put these back in there. I'll leave them there a minute. They're sitting on the shelf over there, so they're all right. No, 1 second. We'll catch up on what we've lost. Well, their main rifle was the M95. Stand very overlooked nations, the Balkans, and they have some mad rare gear. I never actually started collecting Balkan stuff. Or the Balkan stuff, even in World War II, never really interested me. But I must look into it. If you can date your M36 helmet back to pre-war, it's good 60, 70 quid in value. No, it's not. It's 36 days, I think, is it? I don't know. I'm not sure. What's the date on this? I can't remember actually how. Stan did tell me how you can date this, but I can't remember. There's a mark on it somewhere, if I remember correctly. It's actually quite comfortable helmet. For what it is, like even with the chin strap, it doesn't move compared to some of the other ones. Well, wait a minute. I also saw those Bulgarian Axis helmet soldiers in the Dirty Dozen. The final mission from '88 on the bridge scene with Telly Savalas. It wouldn't surprise me. An awful lot of the '80s movies, World War II especially, were using crap kit. Just DM'd you the link to in France. Never knew what you'll find it. Perfect, Jude. Sound, Matt. Thanks very much. There we go. LD, out of my 3 Bulgarian helmets, my favorite is a really aged M36C that was a World War II line that has a World War II liner. It's never been repainted. Got it for less than £50. It looks World War One German with a grunge based, I think. Oh, okay. Field Marshal Manhattan was good friends with der Fuhrer and had himself a Knight's Cross and a World War One Iron Cross, World War Two. Oh, very cool. Ralph, take it for a drink, John. Well, find out its age. Yeah, bring it for dinner as well. The M36, which is the one John would have been made in World War Two, I believe, but repurposed post World War Two. When I watch 1941, 1942 German cinema newsreel, I very often see Finns were good friends working together with the German military. The Finns. Prior to World War II, you had the Winter War, whereas the Finns and the Russians basically had an argy-bargy. And after that conflict, obviously the Finns were reluctantly allied to. They didn't agree with what was happening in relation to camps and things like that in Germany. They didn't believe in the Germans' politics, but they did need their help for dealing with the Russians because they were afraid the Russians were going to come back and take them over again. I don't believe the Finns served on the Western Front. I believe that was part of their pact they had, was that they would only fight the Russians. I don't think they fought on the Western Front, if I remember correctly. Same as the Bulgarians, same as the. I don't know, did the Yugoslavians fight on the Western Front? Not sure. Well, in the Dirty Dozen movie, was meant to be Belarus too. They have very thick mustaches. Yeah, like those 80s movies. Like, do you ever remember the Vietnam ones from the 80s? Where you had like Missing in Action, Rambo. Missing in Action had about 6 different. Like it was like, but all the 80s movies, they never like they make one good movie and then it was sequel. Like Police Academies went from 1 to like 7. Can't remember how many Police Academies they finished up with, but I don't know. It was just a thing in the 80s. It was just everything was a sequel. Um, Home Alone, 3 or 4 Home Alones. Beethoven, even, which was about a dog. There was 2 or 3 of them. Dirty Dozen. Surprised they didn't make a remake of Kelly's Heroes. Yeah, everything was a remake. I think the Finns went to the enemy if the enemy is my friend. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they did. David, hello. How are you guys? I'll have to catch up later. You will, David. You will. Jim Timber 2. I've got that video to watch. The Danish guy. Hamburger Hill. Great movie. Very Kit actually in that movie is fairly accurate as well. Hamburger Hill. Hamburger Hill would be fairly accurate. Obviously, Platoon and Full Metal Jacket are very, very accurate in relation to Kit and stuff like that because their directors were both veterans. Danger Close, which is the Australians' new enough movie that came out about Vietnam, very accurate equipment and kit in that one as well. Trying to think what other stuff came out of Vietnam. Tour of Duty actually. Tour of Duty is a good series. The early first pirate or first pilot series, shall we say? Obviously, there was incorrections that their helmets were completely wrong. They were wearing Woodland helmet covers, and then as the series went on and they came into the second series, the third series, and stuff like that, the budget started to get bigger. Things started to change. So there you go. And the equipment and kit got almost correct towards the third series. Jude, hey, I won't hear a bad word against Platoon. No, there's nothing bad about Platoon. Platoon's a good, fantastic movie. What was the Vietnam TV show in the 80s? You had 2. You had Tour of Duty, which I actually have here on the box set because a good friend of mine kindly sent it to me. There you go. Tour of Duty on the box set. And you had another one that I've been trying to find it for ages and ages on DVD or on telly or on one of the pirate channels or whatever, is China Beach. I remember watching China Beach as a young fella. It was basically the MASH version of MASH in Vietnam. So you had MASH in Korea. China Beach was the military hospital in Vietnam. Good movie, good series, but I can't find the frigging thing anywhere. Steel Helmet Stan, his collection will blow you away, mate. I've seen his period era soda pop. Not sure who you're talking about, guys. Burning. I used the 58 pattern weapon. So 1 second. Oh, I need to go back up. I used the 58 pattern weapon camping as well as a Bulgarian para rucksack picked up in Germany World War II poncho. Lately, all the best from Ennis Town. Returning early Fridays. Great show. Burning. Hello, how are you? Next one is Winter War 1989 a good Finnish war movie? Winter War. I can't remember. I can't remember that off the top of my head. Can't remember that movie. Winter War. Like, I've seen so many war movies that it's ridiculous. We Were Soldiers is like the Vietnam version of Flags of Our Fathers. Would highly recommend. Yeah. We Were Soldiers is like, whereas Platoon and Full Metal Jacket and Danger Close and all that, it's like Hamburger Hill even. It's like a war movie. There's no hoorah. America's the best, and I'm not saying anything. No, I'm not saying don't jump on me, but you have that whole yes, we are American. We will, We Were Soldiers is sort of that with me when in relation to that type of yes, we are the best type of thing. China Lake, Jude. No, I think. You're talking about that other movie or that other series. Yeah, China Beach was called. China Beach. Jim Timber MASH. No, MASH was Korea. Want Mask Korea MASH. I worked with a guy in Australia who had served in Vietnam. He actually showed me his combat bullet wounds. He had a very strong opinion of people of that region based on his own experience. I can understand why, especially if you've taken a bullet. Kenny Rebel for MASH, get smash. I'm dumber than a box of rocks. You're not dumber than a box of rocks. MASH, Hot Lips, yes, Hot Lips, Houlihan. There was I seen a very interesting thing actually there on Facebook or one of those things there the other day. Whereas they had before and after pictures of areas. So like whatever, New York 1900, New York 2023. But they had pictures of movies and TV series where a character, or not a character, an actor had passed away. So everyone else was in color except for the character that had passed away, or the actor that had passed away. They were in black and white, and there was an awful lot of the MASH ones in that, because an awful lot of them. Radar's still alive. Hawkeye is still alive. Hot Lips, I think, is still alive. There's a very few. Klinger, I think, is passed away. There's a very few of them that are still alive, actually, believe it or not, from that series. Jim Timber and Steel Helmet. And Steel Helmet Stan war movie. Parachuting into a bar and basically never leaving. That's a good movie. I don't see why not. Never leaving the place. Juice Steins, yes, China Beach, not China Lake. Chairborne. I remember Hogan's Heroes, this series well. That's what Schultz, the Fat Lufty Sergeant. Yeah, I don't. That wasn't the 80s. I think that could have been the 60s or 70s. Hogan's Heroes. That was a great movie, or it was a great series as well, actually. Still Hammerstein, knowing my lack of shoot would open and I'd end up in a haystack behind the pub. Do you know that on the set of Hogan's Heroes, the Eric, exotic, right? War movie. Lisa She-Wolf of the SS was shot in 1974. Didn't know that. Now is industrial state. Huh, didn't know that. No. There was a channel called Iron Line Hardwork Filmworks on YouTube. They have a double of Vietnam made of TV series. They have a couple of Vietnam made TV series and movies. I must look that up actually. Lionheart movie Filmworks. The other one as well, an Australian movie, which was probably 70s or 80s as well, was The Odd Angry Shot. More SAS guys. I don't know why they picked the SAS, but they picked the SAS as the regiment to base it off on that movie. Now, personally, myself, the SAS is a special force, or the SASR as they're known in Australia, are a very, very, very tough, strong, hard-working bunch of guys, and that movie made them out to look like a shower of twats. And more guys were injured and killed on that movie than in real life the SAS lost in anything in Vietnam. I think they lost one man, believe it or not, in Vietnam. The SAS did. So yeah. Um, it's okay, Timbers. I will bring you the beer today. John, you can download China Beach. All 4 series is complete, and stick them in a pen drive. Very cool. I must look that up. I must talk to you more about that. I hear nothing. Colonel Hogan. I see nothings. I hear nothings, Colonel Hogan, and he'd run out the door. Just read The Great Escape book, courtesy of Timbers, the true story. Very interesting and different from the movie. Yeah, it was. Like, they were all executed. Well, not all of them. I think it was 50 out of 70 something that escaped. Believe it or not, the SAS, after World War II, went after some of the guys that were involved in that. The other thing that I wanted to say was that Jim, I believe, he lives around that area where that campsite was, or prison camp was. I'd love to get over and see it actually someday. I do remember watching a documentary one time where they were trying to find the actual tunnels. They had found the footprints of where the huts were, so they were working out. Well, it was Tom, Dick, and Harry were the three tunnels. Tom went from one hut to another hut, and then Dick and Harry actually went out under the wire. If I remember, don't quote me 100%, but it was definitely Tom, Dick, and Harry were the 3 tunnels. And I think it was Tom. Tom was found first. They had stopped work on Dick, and were doing as much work as they could on Tom. And then Harry was the one that went from hut A, I would say, to hut B. And Dick was the one they found first. Or was it Harry? I can't remember now. It was, yeah, it was. I think it was definitely Dick was the one they found first. Yeah. I'm missing a load of these things. Great film. Great Escape was a great film. I love watching The Great Escape actually. I remember Good Night Sweetheart. Nicholas Love acting. Good Night Sweetheart. Oh, can't remember that one now. Anyone remember Good Night Sweetheart? There's Jones as well. Rodney used to be in and out of the other fella used to time travel. Now I remember the one. I think I remember that. Gary Hall. Have all 4 downloading now. I have yet to watch Spike Lee's Vietnam War movie, The Five Bloods. I haven't seen that neither. I've heard stuff about it, but I haven't seen it. It was about a shipment of gold in the jungle, African American Marines. Yeah. Kenny Rebel, yeah, it's Spike Lee joint. Lionheart's dad co-wrote Military Collectibles reference book that I've got. I think he was called Joel. Sadly, he committed suicide. I haven't got the book and can't check. Rodden's son also died. That's sad. I do remember reading about he was the commandant of Auschwitz. What was his name? They hung him after the end of the war anyway. But his family, I think his daughter, his wife, I know it was his wife or his daughter committed suicide because of stuff he'd done, and they couldn't live with it, and the stigma of being, that's what's his name's kids. What was his name? It wasn't Hess. I can't think of his name. He was hung by the Polish in Auschwitz. He was brought back to Auschwitz and hung, and they made a special gallows. It's still there to this day. I've seen it. Reinhard Heinrich, was it Reinhard? No, Reinhard Heinrich was the guy that came up with the final solution. Oh, I know you're probably giving me the answers there now, but I don't want to look at the comment section. Let's see if I can come up with it myself. I can't actually. Spike Lee had also directed the masterful Miracle of St. Anne, 2008. We didn't see the film with Dark Soldiers that often. Let's look that one up as well. There was a time team where they found the tunnels. It was a time team, I don't remember. The Five Bloods is actually class. I must look that up. So Jude Steins is a good, really good, great performance. Goat. Was it Goat? I don't think it was Goat. Horse. I don't know. Well, it could be Horse, actually. Was it Horse? Spelling. Sounds like an SS gang film. The Five Bloods. Rudolph Hoss. That sounds familiar. Goat was the mad person he was. They were all friggin' nuts. Guys, we've been on over an hour actually. So does anyone want to Goat was in Dachau, if I remember correctly. He was actually robbing stuff from what they called Canada, which was the best job if you were there. Imprisoned in an asylum. Still understand Rudolph the horse. Correct. Tom Bass can't remember his first name or spell his second. Rudolph Hirsch. No, he ran the camp Oscar Schindler was at. Which was in Krakow as well, actually, believe it or not, wasn't it? But did he not go from there to Auschwitz? That lad. I know. There is actually a guy, I can't remember the name of his channel. He's a school teacher and he brings kids on tours, and he does videos, YouTube tours of these these sites. Oh, he's an American guy, but his tours are absolutely fantastic. Just look up in the Google box of YouTube, Google tour of Auschwitz or tour of whatever, and you'll find him. He's a young guy in his 30s, but his tours are fantastic. If any of you want to look at the stuff, look up his stuff. Right, guys, it is 9:05. I'm on a bit later than I normally am, so if any of you want to ask me a question there for 2 or 3 minutes, you're more than welcome, and I'm going to bed. Ralph Fiennes still plays Goat in Schindler's List. Hess was definitely at Auschwitz. Huss was definitely at Auschwitz. Again, spelling apologies. Cheers, everybody peeps. And Goat that is, he was the commandant of the camp where Schindler was. Yes, he was actually. He was. Right, guys. So that's it. It's 9:05. Enjoy. Have a safe night. Have a safe weekend. There will be a couple of videos coming up, aka that one. will be coming up over the weekend. So guys, have a great weekend, stay safe, and I'll see you all next Friday, same time, 8 o'clock. Enjoy.